The morning started like any other aboard the galactic survey ship Seeker. The ship's primary researcher, Dr. Mark Adams, sat at his desk, reviewing data from their latest planetary survey. His three-fingered hand moved across the holographic display, sorting through atmospheric readings and geological data. Something wasn't right. He ran the numbers again and again. Each time, the results came back the same. There had to be an error in their equipment. No civilization could evolve on a planet with these conditions. The gravity alone should have crushed any complex life forms before they could develop intelligence. Captain Walker, he called out through the ship's communication system. Could you come to the research lab? There's something you need to see. The captain arrived moments later, her silvery scales reflecting the lab's bright lights. What seems to be the problem, Dr. Adams? Look at these readings, he said, pointing to the display. Planet Earth, Class 5 civilization, achieved spaceflight, normal development curve. But these environmental conditions, he paused, double-checking his findings. They're impossible. Captain Walker leaned forward, her compound eyes widening as she processed the information. That can't be right. The gravity is nearly twice what we classified as survivable. The atmospheric pressure, the temperature variations, the number of natural disasters. And that's not even the worst part, Dr. Adams continued. Look at the predator density. Their planet is filled with creatures that would be classified as apex predators on any other world. They evolved alongside these beings. The captain's antennae twitched nervously. How did we miss this in our initial surveys? We didn't miss it. We saw it, but didn't believe it. We assumed our instruments were malfunctioning. Every survey ship for the past 300 years has done the same thing. We all thought it was impossible, so we kept adjusting our readings to match what we thought should be there. Dr. Adams pulled up more data. These humans, they don't just survive in these conditions. They thrive in them. They run for fun. They climb mountains for entertainment. They swim in their planet's oceans, which are filled with creatures that could swallow them whole. Captain Walker's scales paled slightly. We need to submit this to the Galactic Council immediately. This changes everything we thought we knew about planetary classification. I've already started preparing the report, Dr. Adams said, bringing up another screen. But there's something else you should know. According to our current classification system, Earth would be beyond our highest category. We'd need to create an entirely new class. How high? The captain asked, though she looked like she didn't want to know the answer. Class 14, Dr. Adams replied quietly. The highest we've ever recorded was Class 10, and that was an uninhabited planet we use for hazard training. The implications hit them both at the same time. Every military assessment, every trade agreement, every diplomatic interaction with Earth had been based on a fundamental misunderstanding of human capabilities. They had been treating them like they were fragile, when in reality. Captain Walker straightened up, her military training taking over. Send the report. Mark it as highest priority. We need to inform the Council before someone makes a terrible mistake. As Dr. Adams transmitted the data, he couldn't help but think about all the times other species had patronized humans, treated them as if they were delicate creatures who needed protection. He thought about the trade agreements where humans had been given easier terms because everyone assumed they were struggling just to survive. The galaxy was about to learn that they had been living alongside giants without realizing it, and when they did, nothing would ever be the same. As the report disappeared into the depths of space, heading for the Galactic Council's central communications hub, Dr. Adams had one final thought. May the stars help anyone who tries to threaten Earth now. The classification that would shake the galaxy to its core was officially submitted at 900 hours, Galactic Standard Time. The day that would change everything had begun. The Grand Chamber of the Galactic Classification Board had never been so full. Representatives from over 300 species packed the circular room, their murmurs creating a constant buzz of nervous energy. The emergency session had been called with such urgency that some delegates were still in their travel clothes. High Commissioner Roberts, the human representative, sat calmly at the center table. He was the only one in the room who seemed relaxed, sipping from a cup of coffee while chaos swirled around him. "This meeting of the Galactic Classification Board is now in session," announced Chief Classifier Tor, his crystalline form glowing with official authority. "We are here to review the classification submission regarding planet Earth." Dr. Adams stepped forward to present his findings. The room fell silent as the holographic display activated, showing Earth in all its terrifying glory. "Colleagues," he began, "what you're about to see will challenge everything we thought we knew about habitable worlds." He took a deep breath. Earth's gravity is 9.8 meters per second squared. That's nearly twice what we considered the upper limit for intelligent life. The chamber erupted in shocked whispers. Several floating species had to adjust their gravity compensators just hearing the number. "The atmosphere," Dr. Adams continued, "contains oxygen levels that would be considered toxic on most worlds. The temperature range is extreme, from -50 to +50 degrees Celsius in some regions. Humans not only survive these variations, they adapt to them." He displayed images of human activities: mountain climbing, deep sea diving, desert racing. Each picture caused more commotion among the delegates. "But perhaps most shocking is this," Dr. Adams said, bringing up a new set of data. "The predator-to-prey ratio on Earth exceeds anything we've recorded on any inhabited world. Humans evolved while surrounded by creatures that would be classified as apex predators anywhere else." A delegate from a peaceful herbivore species fainted. High Commissioner Roberts raised his hand. "If I may add something." When given permission, he stood up. "What Dr. Adams hasn't mentioned is that humans often keep these predators as pets. We call them cats and dogs." The room went completely silent. "You domesticate apex predators?" asked Chief Classifier Tor, his crystalline structure flickering with disbelief. "Oh yes," Roberts replied cheerfully. "We also ride larger animals for fun, swim with ocean predators for entertainment, and some people keep venomous snakes as companions." Dr. Adams quickly moved to his conclusion before more delegates could pass out. "Based on these findings, we have no choice but to classify Earth as a Class 14 Deathworld. This would place it 4 levels above our previous highest classification." Chief Classifier Tor's glow dimmed significantly. "The implications of this classification are severe. It would require immediate revision of all military assessments, trade agreements, and diplomatic protocols." "If I may speak," Roberts stood again. "We humans have been nothing but peaceful in our interactions with the galactic community. This classification doesn't change who we are." "No," Tor agreed, "but it changes our understanding of what you are capable of. A species that considers our most hostile environments to be suitable for recreation. It is unprecedented." The vote was taken. The classification was approved unanimously, with several delegates voting remotely because they had fled the chamber during the presentation. As the session ended, Roberts approached Dr. Adams. "You seem troubled," he said. "Unworried about how the galaxy will react to this." Adams admitted, "Some species are already calling for military action, out of fear." Roberts smiled, a gesture that several nearby delegates found terrifying now that they understood what humans were. "That would be unwise," he said simply. "We didn't become what we are by being easy to intimidate." As they left the chamber, the news was already spreading across the galaxy. Earth, the planet that defied classification norms, had just been officially recognized as the most dangerous inhabited world known to the galactic community, and its inhabitants, they were just getting started. The Galactic Central Stock Exchange had never seen such pandemonium. Traders of all species rushed across the massive trading floor, their voices creating a cacophony of panic. Holographic displays flashed red as stock values plummeted across every sector. "Sell! Sell everything!" shouted a trader from the Mindarin Corporation, his tentacles waving frantically at his assistants. "Every military contract we have is worthless now." The massive display board told the story. Defense contractors who had been supplying advanced weapons to Earth watched their stock prices collapse. Companies that had been selling protective equipment to human colonies saw their values drop to nearly nothing. In his private office overlooking the trading floor, Marcus Thompson, Earth's chief economic advisor to the Galactic Trade Council, watched the chaos with mild amusement. His phone hadn't stopped ringing since the classification announcement. "No, we will not be canceling our existing contracts," he explained to yet another panicked alien CEO. "Yes, we understand that your equipment may not be as advanced as you claimed. No, we won't be pursuing legal action." He paused, listening. "Because, frankly, we found your attempts to protect us rather endearing." On the trading floor below, a new wave of panic erupted as the first human-owned companies began listing their stocks. Earth-based manufacturing companies, specifically those dealing with heavy machinery and environmental protection equipment, saw their values skyrocket. "Did you see these profit projections?" asked one alien trader to another. "These humans have been operating heavy mining equipment in what we considered impossible conditions. Their technology isn't primitive, it's incredibly robust." A group of military contractors huddled in a corner, reviewing human construction methods. "They build structures to withstand something called hurricanes," one whispered in horror. "Their buildings are designed to survive disasters we didn't even know could exist on inhabited worlds." The panic spread to the commodity markets. The price of materials humans considered common plummeted, while resources they found scarce suddenly became incredibly valuable. Nobody had realized that what humans considered rare metals were based on their ability to mine in conditions that would kill most species. In the middle of the trading floor, a large screen showed news footage from Earth. A human construction crew was casually working in what most species would consider an environmental disaster: rain, high winds, and terrible visibility. The traders watched in stunned silence. "They're not even wearing environmental suits," someone muttered. Marcus's assistant, Tom, entered his office with a fresh stack of reports. "Sir, we've received offers from 17 different species wanting to license human construction techniques, and the Galactic Insurance Association is demanding an emergency meeting." Marcus nodded, still watching the chaos below. "Tell them we'll meet tomorrow. Let them panic a bit more. It'll make negotiations easier." "Should we release the statement about Earth's military capabilities?" Tom asked. "Not yet," Marcus replied. "Let's wait until the market closes. No need to cause more panic today." He smiled as another section of the board turned red. "Though I must say, watching them realize that we've been humoring their advanced technology is quite entertaining." On the trading floor, a new rumor started spreading. Humans had been holding back in physical competitions out of politeness. The stock prices of sporting equipment manufacturers joined the freefall. "Do you think they'll figure out about the coffee?" Tom asked, sipping from his cup. Marcus laughed. "Let's keep that quiet for now. Finding out we regularly consume a stimulant that would be classified as a military-grade combat drug on most worlds might be too much for one day." As the trading day neared its end, the full impact of Earth's reclassification was becoming clear. The galaxy's economic structure, built on assumptions about human capabilities and needs, was being completely rewritten. Marcus stood up, straightening his tie. "Well, shall we head down and start buying? Everything's on sale, and I think Earth's emergence as an economic superpower should be properly marked." The day wasn't over yet, but the galaxy's financial system would never be the same, and somewhere on Earth, billions of humans went about their daily lives, blissfully unaware that their normal routines were causing interstellar economic chaos. The United Earth Council chamber was unusually quiet as Ambassador Jack Reed prepared to address the Galactic Assembly. The massive amphitheater, designed to accommodate representatives of all known spacefaring species, felt tense with anticipation. Reed adjusted his simple black suit and stepped up to the podium. Unlike many alien diplomats who wore elaborate environmental suits, he stood there in normal Earth business attire. What once seemed unremarkable now made several delegates distinctly uncomfortable. Distinguished representatives of the Galactic Assembly, he began, his voice calm and measured. I understand our recent reclassification has caused some concern. Let me be clear, Earth has no intention of changing its peaceful stance in galactic affairs. He paused, taking a sip of water. An action that made several delegates flinch, knowing now that human bodies could process what would be considered toxic levels of hydrogen dioxide. However, Reed continued, we feel it's time for some honest discussion. Yes, we come from what you call a death world. Yes, we are stronger than we've shown. And yes, we've been downplaying our capabilities to make others comfortable. The chamber erupted in murmurs. A representative from a low-gravity world raised their appendage. Are you saying you've been deceiving us? Reed smiled. Not at all. We've been polite. When your diplomats needed environmental suits to visit Earth, we built special facilities. When your athletes couldn't compete in our gravity, we installed gravity reducers in our stadiums. We adapted to make you comfortable. Another delegate stood up. But why? If you're so capable, why pretend to be less? Because, Reed explained, that's what friends do. We didn't want to intimidate or overshadow anyone. We wanted to be part of the galactic community, not dominated. The main display activated, showing scenes from Earth, children playing in snow, surfers riding massive waves, firefighters running into burning buildings. To humans, these were everyday scenes. To the aliens watching, they were displays of incredible endurance and bravery. What you're seeing isn't special to us, Reed continued. This is just life on Earth. We climb mountains for fun. We dive into oceans for recreation. We run marathons to raise money for charity. One of the senior council members, a being composed mostly of gas, spoke up. Ambassador Reed, what does Earth want now? The same thing we've always wanted. Peaceful cooperation and trade. But now we want it without pretense. No more artificial limitations on our capabilities. No more treating us like we're fragile. The chamber grew quiet as the implications sank in. Earth wasn't asking for special treatment. They were asking to stop receiving it. And one more thing, Reed added, his tone becoming slightly firmer. While we maintain our commitment to peace, we want to be very clear. Any species considering aggressive action based on our reclassification should remember that what you've seen of human capabilities so far has been us being gentle. The silence in the chamber became absolute. We look forward to continuing our friendships with all species, Reed concluded. Only now, you'll be seeing the real us. Thank you. As Reed stepped down from the podium, his communicator buzzed. It was a message from Earth's military command. 17 species had already withdrawn their threat assessments and requested new diplomatic talks. Walking back to his office, Reed met with his assistant, Bill Parker. How did they take it? Parker asked. About as well as expected, Reed replied. Though I think the part about us drinking coffee for enjoyment might have been a bit much for some of them. Wait until they find out about hot sauce, Parker grinned. Reed laughed, then grew serious. Send a message to all Earth embassies. Tell them it's time to implement protocol honest strength. No more holding back in diplomatic sports events. No more pretending our environmental tolerances are lower than they are. As they walked through the embassy corridors, aliens scurried out of their way with newfound respect and perhaps a touch of fear. Earth was finally showing its true face to the galaxy, and the galaxy was realizing that humans had been the sleeping giants all along. The age of humanity hiding its strength was over. The age of humanity embracing its true nature had begun. The military training facility on Mars buzzed with unusual activity. Dozens of alien observers watched from behind reinforced windows as human soldiers conducted routine exercises in what other species considered lethal conditions. General Robert Stone stood in the observation deck, watching as representatives from various galactic powers took notes and tried to hide their growing concern. A squad of human Marines was running obstacle courses while carrying what the aliens considered impossibly heavy loads. "And this is just basic training?" asked military attaché Bax, his protective suit whirring as he adjusted his position. "Just the warm-up, actually," Stone replied casually. "They haven't started the real training yet." The aliens exchanged nervous glances. On the training field below, soldiers began their hand-to-hand combat exercises. The observers winced at what they considered brutal impacts. In another section of the facility, a different group of aliens watched human special forces practicing underwater operations. The fact that humans could willingly submerge themselves in liquid and continue functioning was shocking enough. That they could fight in such conditions was beyond comprehension. "General," called out Dr. Thomas White, the facility's chief medical officer, "the Centaurian delegation has requested permission to study human muscle density. Apparently, they think we've been using some kind of enhancement technology." Stone smiled. "Show them the medical bay. Let them see that this is all natural." In the research wing, alien scientists pored over human medical data with a mixture of fascination and horror. The human ability to heal from injuries, rebuild broken bones, and develop stronger muscles through exercise seemed like biological impossibilities. "Look at this," one alien researcher said to another, pointing at a screen. "They deliberately damage their muscle fibers to make them grow back stronger. It's not technology, it's their natural adaptation process." Meanwhile, in the weapons testing area, alien military officials watched as human soldiers demonstrated their equipment. What the aliens had once dismissed as primitive now appeared in a new light: weapons and armor designed to function in conditions that would destroy more advanced technology. "These projectile weapons," a military observer noted, "they're so simple that they work everywhere. No energy cells to fail, no atmospheric requirements." "And their armor," another added, "it's not designed to prevent damage. It's designed to let them survive damage that would kill most species instantly." In his office overlooking the facility, General Stone reviewed the latest reports with his staff. 17 different species had already attempted to create training programs mimicking Earth conditions. All had failed spectacularly. "Sir," his aide reported, "the Proximan Military Council is requesting joint training exercises." "Denied," Stone replied firmly. "At least until they understand that they can't actually train in our conditions. We don't need diplomatic incidents from aliens injuring themselves trying to keep up with human soldiers." On the training field, a new demonstration began. Human soldiers performed rescue operations in what other species classified as extreme environment conditions, actually just a rainy day with high winds. The most interesting part, Stone explained to the observers, is that none of this was developed for military purposes. These are all adaptations from civilian emergency services, firefighters, search and rescue teams, disaster response units. The aliens fell silent, realizing that what they considered military-grade capabilities were civilian-level skills on Earth. A message came through on Stone's communicator. The Galactic Defense Council was requesting an emergency session. Apparently, the realization that every human colonial militia was effectively an elite fighting force by galactic standards had caused quite a stir. "Tell them we'll attend," Stone instructed his aide. "And prepare the gentle capabilities presentation. No need to show them everything yet." As the day's demonstrations concluded, the alien observers filed out, many looking shaken. They had come expecting to learn human military secrets. Instead, they had learned that humans themselves were the secret, a species so naturally adapted to extreme conditions that their basic training exceeded most species' elite capabilities. In the gathering darkness, the training facility continued its operations. For the humans, it was just another day. For the galaxy, it was a harsh wake-up call about the true nature of Earth's military potential. The arms race had begun, but it was already over. Nobody could match what came naturally to humans. The human mining colony on Kepler 186 was a small but prosperous operation. Located near the edge of human space, it was considered an easy target by the Space Raiders, a notorious pirate group that had never encountered serious resistance before. They couldn't have been more wrong. Captain Rick West of the colony's security force was enjoying his morning coffee when the first alarm sounded. The pirates had disabled the colony's main communications array, expecting to find panicked, helpless civilians. Instead, they found humans who considered this an exciting break from their daily routine. "All civilians to the shelter," West announced calmly over the internal comm system. "Security teams to your positions. And someone please tell Jones to stop grinning. This is supposed to be a serious situation." The pirates landed their ships expecting to find a terrified population. What they found was an empty landing zone. Their sensors showed the humans gathering in what appeared to be an underground bunker. Perfect. They had trapped themselves. The pirate leader, who had never actually met a human in combat before, sent his first wave of troops toward the bunker. They were wearing the most advanced combat suits available on the black market, confident in their technological superiority. In the security control room, West watched the pirates approach on the monitors. "Should we tell them about the gravity?" his deputy asked. "Let them figure it out," West replied, sipping his coffee. The pirates discovered their mistake when they tried to move quickly. The colony's gravity, normal for humans, was crushing for most other species. Their expensive combat suits, designed for standard gravity, began malfunctioning under the strain. Then the colonists launched their counterattack. Mining workers, wearing their standard heavy-duty work suits, emerged from side tunnels. These weren't soldiers. They were everyday humans who worked in conditions most species considered impossible. Their primitive hydraulic mining tools proved remarkably effective against the pirates' advanced armor. "Sir," one of the security officers called out, "Miller from maintenance is asking if he can use his fusion cutter. Says he's always wanted to try it in a fight." West shrugged. "Tell him just don't damage the landing pad. We still need that." The pirates retreated in chaos. Their combat doctrines, based on fighting standard world species, proved useless against humans who considered working in crushing gravity and hostile environments a normal day's work. In orbit, the pirate flagship received desperate calls for evacuation. The captain watched in horror as his elite troops were driven back by what appeared to be unarmed civilians wielding mining equipment. "How are they moving so fast in this gravity?" one pirate screamed over the comm. "They're not even wearing powered armor." The final blow to pirate morale came when they discovered that the colonists had used their mining equipment to tunnel under their ships while they were distracted. The pirates found themselves with a choice: immediate surrender or having their ships dropped into sinkholes. They surrendered. As the colonial security forces secured the pirates' weapons, West finally finished his coffee. "Anyone hurt?" he asked. Jenkins scraped his knuckles, someone reported. But he says that was from laughing too hard while swinging his mining hammer. The pirates, now disarmed and in custody, watched in disbelief as the colonists returned to work. Children emerged from the shelter, disappointed they'd missed the excitement. Several miners grumbled about the interruption to their schedule. "I don't understand," the pirate leader said to West. "These are civilians, mining workers. How do they fight like elite warriors?" West looked amused. "They didn't. That was just humans being humans. If we'd actually fought back with our military." He let the sentence hang. News of the failed raid spread quickly through the galaxy. The message was clear: even the most ordinary human settlement was more dangerous than most species' military bases. In the colony's communications center, West filed his report to Earth Command. Attempted pirate raid. Minor disruption to mining operations. Situation resolved. Request transport for prisoners. Also, Miller would like to keep that pirate captain's helmet as a coffee mug. The day the pirates learned why Earth was classified as a Class 14 Deathworld became a popular story in bars across the galaxy. It served as a reminder: never mistake human civility for weakness. The Grand Hall of the Galactic Council had been renovated. The environmental barriers that once separated different species were gone, replaced by a design that humans had suggested: simple, adaptable, and remarkably sturdy. Alan Parker, Earth's newly appointed High Ambassador, stood at the central podium. 1 year had passed since Earth's reclassification, and the galaxy had changed more than anyone could have predicted. The Deathworld Accords, Parker announced to the assembled representatives, mark a new chapter in galactic history. No longer will we hide our capabilities. Instead, we offer to share our knowledge, our strength, and our unique perspective with all peaceful species. The chamber, once filled with fear of human potential, now hummed with anticipation. The past year had taught the galaxy that humans were not just powerful, they were reliable allies and innovative problem solvers. Our engineering teams have already helped establish colonies on worlds previously thought uninhabitable, Parker continued. Our disaster response units have saved millions of lives on planets facing natural disasters, and our military forces have effectively ended piracy in 3 sectors without firing a single shot. The display behind him showed images of human achievements over the past year. Human workers helping rebuild cities after earthquakes. Human doctors teaching other species about trauma recovery. Human engineers designing ships that could withstand extreme conditions. In the diplomatic section, representatives from former rival species sat together, united by their new understanding of humanity's approach to challenges. The human philosophy of the harder it gets, the harder we try, had proven infectious. But perhaps our greatest achievement, Parker said, has been the establishment of the Galactic Exchange Program. Over 10,000 alien students are now studying on Earth, learning not just our technology, but our perspective on challenges. The statistics spoke for themselves. Trade had increased by 300%. Scientific breakthroughs had accelerated as human persistence combined with alien innovation. Even tourism to Earth had boomed, with special facilities allowing visitors to safely experience what they called the Deathworld thrill. We've also learned much from our galactic neighbors, Parker acknowledged. Your technologies, combined with our durability, have created possibilities none of us imagined before. In orbit above various worlds, new ships displayed this cooperation. Human-grade sturdy construction combined with alien advanced technology. They were practically indestructible. The future we see, Parker continued, is not one of human dominance, but of true partnership, each species bringing their strengths to face the challenges of our galaxy together. At the back of the chamber, military observers noted how the human delegation's honor guards stood at ease, a posture that everyone now knew meant they could respond to threats faster than most species could perceive them. And so, Parker concluded, we propose the formation of the Galactic Cooperative, with membership open to all species who share our vision of mutual support and peaceful coexistence. The vote was unanimous. The new era had officially begun. Later, in his office, Parker met with his alien counterparts. They shared a meal, each species in their own environmental conditions, but together in the same room. A simple thing that would have seemed impossible a year ago. Did you ever imagine, asked a representative from a low-gravity world, that your reclassification would lead to this? Parker smiled. Humans have a saying, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. What's a lemon? Several aliens asked simultaneously. A highly acidic earth fruit that we eat for enjoyment, Parker replied, causing several of them to shudder. As the day ended, ships from 100 worlds docked at Earth's orbital stations. Trade vessels, diplomatic shuttles, and cultural exchange ships moved in perfect harmony. The galaxy had learned that the most dangerous known world had produced not conquerors, but partners. The Class 14 Deathworld that had once caused panic had become the center of a new galactic civilization, and humanity had proven that their greatest strength wasn't their physical capabilities. It was their ability to turn challenges into opportunities for everyone. The new age had begun, and the galaxy was stronger for it.